It was 6 in the morning, and I stood alone in our kitchen balancing a bottle in each hand while Lily and Noah squirmed in their high chairs. Upstairs, Amanda stayed in bed, claiming another headache. For 365 days, I believed my wife was battling postpartum depression. I sacrificed everything to help her recover. But there was something off that I could not explain. It took a full year before I discovered the truth behind the pain she claimed to feel. Before we dive into how a year of sacrifice turned into betrayal, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. If this story resonates with you, or if you have ever felt taken for granted, hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you will want to hear how this ends. Amanda and I married 3 years before the twins arrived. We both worked in Denver. I was a mechanical engineer at a firm downtown, and she managed marketing campaigns for a tech startup. Life felt stable, predictable, and full of promise. When we found out Amanda was pregnant with twins during a routine checkup, we celebrated with champagne and tears of joy. We spent weekends painting the nursery in soft yellows and greens, assembling 2 cribs, and attending every prenatal class the hospital offered. Amanda glowed throughout most of her pregnancy. She made lists for everything: baby names, feeding schedules, diaper brands, pediatrician appointments. She read parenting books and dragged me to baby expos. I loved watching her excitement build. Our life seemed perfect, like we were following some beautiful script written just for us. Then, at 32 weeks, everything changed. Amanda called me from her office, her voice shaking. Her water had broken during a meeting. I raced across town, my heart pounding against my ribs. By the time I reached the hospital, doctors were prepping her for an emergency cesarean. Lily and Noah entered the world weighing just 3 pounds each, their tiny bodies covered in wires and monitors. The NICU became our second home. Those first 6 weeks blurred together in a haze of antiseptic smells and beeping machines. I would stand beside the incubator staring at our children through plastic walls, feeling utterly helpless. Lily had trouble breathing on her own. Noah struggled to maintain his body temperature. The doctors reassured us that premature twins often face these challenges, but their words did little to ease our terror. Amanda cried constantly during those weeks. She barely ate. I watched the light drain from her eyes day by day. When I asked if she was okay, she would whisper, "I feel so exhausted, Isaac. Just so tired." I assumed it was normal. We were both scared, sleep-deprived, and overwhelmed. Finally, after 42 days, the doctors cleared Lily and Noah to come home. I thought our nightmare had ended. I was wrong. It was only beginning. From the first night, Amanda refused to hold them. She stayed in bed while I carried the twins inside one car seat in each hand. I set up their bassinets in our bedroom and waited for Amanda to come see them. She never did. When I brought Noah to her thinking skin-to-skin contact might help, she turned away. "I cannot do this right now," she murmured. "I need to rest." I told myself it was temporary. The babies woke every 2 hours that first week. Each time I stumbled out of bed, warmed bottles, changed diapers, and rocked them back to sleep. Amanda lay motionless beside me, eyes closed, breathing steady. Sometimes I wondered if she was really asleep or just pretending. By the second week, something darker had settled over her. She cried without reason, staring at the ceiling for hours. When I suggested she try feeding Lily, she broke down completely. "I feel like I am drowning," she sobbed. "I do not deserve to be their mother." Her words frightened me. I scheduled an appointment with her doctor immediately. The diagnosis came quickly: postpartum depression. The doctor prescribed medication and referred her to a therapist who specialized in new mothers. I felt relieved, believing we finally had answers. I read everything I could find about the condition. Articles described it as a chemical imbalance, a temporary darkness that would lift with time and treatment. I prepared myself to be patient, to carry the weight until Amanda recovered. I requested to work from home 3 days a week. My boss thankfully understood, but working proved nearly impossible with 2 infants who needed constant care. I learned to type one-handed while bottle feeding. I took conference calls with a baby monitor beside my laptop, always ready to mute myself when crying started. I cooked, did laundry, and sterilized bottles in whatever spare minutes I could find. Amanda remained in our bedroom most days. Sometimes I would check on her between feedings and find her scrolling through her phone seemingly fine. But the moment I asked her to help with the twins, her face would crumble. "I cannot handle it," she would say. "Please, just give me more time." So I did. I gave her weeks, then months. Friends and family called regularly asking about the babies and how Amanda was coping. I protected her privacy fiercely. "She is recovering," I told them. "She just needs space and time." My mother offered to visit, but I declined. Amanda had asked me not to let anyone see her this way. Looking back, I realize I was enabling her lies, but at the time I thought I was being a supportive husband. 6 months passed in this strange, lonely routine. Lily and Noah grew stronger. They started rolling over, then sitting up, then crawling. Their laughter filled our home with pure joy. I felt an overwhelming love for them that I had never imagined possible. Every milestone they reached made the exhaustion worthwhile. But Amanda remained disconnected from it all. She attended their 6-month pediatrician appointment but sat in the corner checking her phone while I discussed developmental progress with the doctor. She never asked to hold them, never volunteered to feed them, never sang them lullabies or played peekaboo. It was as if she lived in a parallel universe where our children did not exist. Then something shifted. Amanda started leaving the house more often. "I need fresh air to heal," she explained. "My therapist says getting out will help." She would disappear for hours, claiming she was attending support groups for mothers struggling with postpartum depression. I encouraged this. I thought it meant she was finally taking her recovery seriously. She returned from these outings looking refreshed, almost radiant. Her cheeks flushed pink. Her eyes sparkled. But the moment she walked through our door, the wall went back up. She would head straight to our bedroom without even glancing at the twins. I started noticing other changes, too. Amanda kept her phone face down constantly. She smiled at the screen more than she smiled at me. One night, I woke at 2 a.m. to feed Noah and found Amanda sitting up in bed, illuminated by her phone's glow, typing furiously. When I asked who she was texting at that hour, she jumped. "Oh, just the support group," she said quickly. "Someone was having a crisis." I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. But doubt had begun gnawing at me. She started caring about her appearance again, which I initially saw as positive. She bought new clothes online, spent time on makeup, and wore perfume even when staying home. "I am trying to feel like myself again," she explained when I commented on it. I smiled and told her she looked beautiful, pushing away the uncomfortable questions forming in my mind. The twins' first birthday approached. I planned a small gathering at our house with my parents, Amanda's mother, and a couple of close friends. I decorated the living room with balloons, baked a simple cake, and bought matching outfits for Lily and Noah. Amanda promised she would be present for the whole celebration. She arrived 40 minutes late. "Sorry," she said breathlessly, barely making eye contact. "Car trouble." But her hair looked freshly styled, and I could smell unfamiliar cologne mixed with her perfume. Throughout the party, she disappeared multiple times to check her phone. My mother cornered me in the kitchen. "Isaac, honey, is Amanda really okay?" she asked gently. I defended her, automatically saying she was doing her best, but my voice lacked conviction. After everyone left, I cleaned up alone while the twins napped. Amanda had already retreated upstairs, claiming exhaustion. I stood in the quiet kitchen, surrounded by wrapping paper and dirty dishes, feeling lonelier than I had ever felt in my life. This was not the partnership I had signed up for. This was not the family I had imagined. The breaking point came 2 weeks later. We shared an iCloud account on our devices, something we had set up years ago and never changed. I was using our iPad to look up a recipe when a notification popped up. A text message meant for Amanda's phone: "Cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Miss you. Greg from work." My blood ran cold. I stared at those words, reading them over and over, trying to make them mean something innocent. But there was nothing innocent about "miss you." I sat down heavily on the couch, my hands shaking. Greg. I knew that name. I'd seen it on Amanda's LinkedIn months ago when she mentioned a new colleague joining her team. I did not confront her immediately. Instead, I started paying closer attention. Amanda's Tuesday and Thursday absences followed a perfect pattern. She left at 5:30, claiming the support group met at 6. She returned around 8, glowing and energized. But when I casually asked her about the other mothers in her group, she gave vague, contradictory answers. She could never remember their names or stories. One Tuesday evening, Lily spiked a fever. I called Amanda repeatedly. No answer. Panicked, I asked our neighbor to watch Noah while I rushed Lily to urgent care. The doctor assured me it was just a mild cold, nothing serious. On the drive home, I passed through downtown and my heart stopped. Amanda's car sat in the parking lot of a boutique hotel near the river. I pulled over, hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. Part of me wanted to storm inside and confront whatever was happening. But another part, the part that still hoped I was wrong, made me wait. I sat there for 70 minutes watching the hotel entrance. Then they emerged together. Amanda and a tall man with dark hair, both laughing at something he had said. He draped his arm around her waist, casually, intimately, like he had done it 1,000 times before. At her car, he pulled her close and kissed her cheek, his lips lingering near her ear as he whispered something that made her smile. I recognized him from the LinkedIn photo. Greg. I drove home in a daze, barely remembering the route. My entire reality had fractured. Everything I had believed for 12 months was a lie. The postpartum depression, the support groups, the need for time and space. All of it fabricated. While I had sacrificed sleep, career advancement, friendships, and my own mental health to care for our children alone, Amanda had been building a secret life with someone else. She came home an hour later, humming softly as she hung up her coat. I was sitting in the dark living room waiting. "How was the support group?" I asked, my voice flat. She turned, squinting to see me in the shadows. It was good, helpful." Her tone was light, practiced. "That is interesting," I said, standing up, "because I saw you downtown today, at the Riverside Hotel, with Greg." The color drained from her face. For a long moment she said nothing, just stood frozen in the doorway. Then the denials started pouring out. "It is not what you think, Isaac. Greg is just a friend. He has been helping me cope with everything. We were just talking. You are misunderstanding." "I saw him kiss you," I said quietly. "I saw how he touched you. That was nothing. We are friends. You do not understand what I have been going through." Something inside me snapped. "What you have been going through." My voice rose despite my efforts to stay calm. "I have spent a year caring for our premature twins completely alone, while you claim to be too depressed to help. I have sacrificed everything, Amanda. Everything. And you have been lying to me the whole time so you could sneak around with your colleague." Tears filled her eyes. "You do not know what it is like," she whispered. "You cannot understand the pressure, the expectations." "You are right," I said. "I do not understand, because I actually showed up for our children." She stared at me for a long moment, then turned and walked upstairs without another word. I barely slept that night. I lay in the guest room staring at the ceiling, my mind racing through a year of memories, recontextualizing everything I had interpreted as depression. The next morning, I woke to silence. Amanda's side of the bed was empty. Her car was gone. On the kitchen table, I found a manila envelope and her house keys. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside were divorce papers already filled out with her information, waiting only for my signature. Beneath them lay a handwritten letter on her personal stationery. "Isaac." It began. "I am sorry. I cannot keep pretending anymore. The truth is, I never had postpartum depression. I lied because I did not know how else to tell you that I do not want to be a mother. When Lily and Noah were born so early and so fragile, I realized I had made a terrible mistake. I do not feel connected to them. I do not feel the things mothers are supposed to feel. Greg understands me in ways you never could. He does not expect me to be something I am not. I want a divorce. You can have full custody. I will not fight you for anything. Just sign these papers and let me go. Amanda. I read it 3 times, each word hitting me like a physical blow. Not postpartum depression. She had never been sick. She had simply opted out of motherhood and used a medical diagnosis as a shield while she pursued an affair. For 12 months she had watched me struggle alone, had accepted my compassion, and understanding had let me make excuses for her to family and friends, all while she was perfectly fine. The rage came first, hot and consuming. I wanted to crumple the letter, throw things, scream at the injustice of it all. But then I looked at the baby monitor on the counter where Lily and Noah still slept peacefully upstairs, and the rage crystallized into something else: determination. I called a family law attorney that morning. His name was Patrick Brennan, and his firm specialized in custody cases. I explained everything, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. "What evidence do you have?" he asked. I'd been meticulous without even realizing it. I'd kept a detailed journal of daily routines documenting who fed the twins, who changed them, who took them to appointments. Our home security cameras had recorded months of footage showing Amanda's absence from childcare. I had the text messages from Greg saved from our shared iCloud. I had photos from the hotel parking lot. And I had her confession letter written in her own handwriting admitting the depression was a lie. "You have a strong case," Patrick said. "She abandoned her parental responsibilities and committed adultery. Colorado courts take that seriously, especially when children this young are involved." I did not sign her divorce papers. Instead, I filed my own petition the next day requesting full legal and physical custody of Lily and Noah, plus child support. Amanda had earned more than me for the past 2 years. If she wanted to walk away from her children, she would do it while fulfilling her financial obligations. The papers were served to her at work 3 days later. She called me that evening, her voice sharp with anger. "What are you doing? I offered you everything. Why are you making this difficult?" "Because you do not get to lie to me for a year and then dictate terms," I said calmly. "You abandoned our children. You committed fraud by faking an illness. You had an affair. Did you really think I would just let you walk away?" "I told you that you could have them," she hissed. "What more do you want?" "I want you to face consequences for your choices," I said. "I want the court to see what kind of person abandons premature twins, and I want to make sure you cannot change your mind in 5 years and try to take them from me." She hung up on me. The discovery process was brutal. Amanda tried to claim I was exaggerating her absence, that she had participated in childcare more than I admitted. But the evidence was overwhelming. Her own text messages to Greg told the story, finally out of that house. Sometimes I wish I could just disappear. The twins are Isaac's problem now. Her lawyer looked increasingly uncomfortable as each piece was presented. Greg was deposed as well. He admitted under oath that his relationship with Amanda began approximately 8 weeks after the twins were born. He confirmed they met twice weekly at the hotel. When asked if Amanda had ever mentioned struggling with depression, he hesitated before answering. She told me she felt trapped and wanted freedom. The preliminary hearing took place on a cold morning in March. Amanda showed up wearing a conservative dress, her hair pulled back, trying to look like a remorseful mother. But when the judge asked her directly about the letter, she could not maintain the facade. "I am not cut out for motherhood," she said quietly. "I thought I would be, but I am not. That does not make me a monster." "No," the judge replied, her voice icy. "But lying about a serious medical condition to avoid your responsibilities while engaging in an extramarital affair does raise serious questions about your character and judgment." The final order came 6 weeks later. I received full legal and physical custody. Amanda was granted supervised visitation rights 2 Saturdays per month, but she had to arrange and pay for the supervision herself. She was ordered to pay $700 monthly in child support. Additionally, the judge ordered her to cover all legal fees for both sides as a consequence of her deception. Amanda never appealed. She attended 3 supervised visits, each lasting less than an hour. Lily and Noah did not recognize her. They cried when she tried to hold them. By the 4th scheduled visit, she did not show up. The supervisor called to say Amanda had canceled all future appointments. I heard through mutual friends that she and Greg broke up about 6 months after the divorce finalized. Apparently, once the excitement of the affair faded, they discovered they had little in common. She moved to Phoenix for a new job. She sends a birthday card each year for the twins, but nothing more. Life settled into a new rhythm. Being a single father to toddlers was exhausting, but it was an honest exhaustion, not the soul-crushing weight of being lied to. My employer remained flexible with my schedule. My mother helped when she could. I joined a single parents group, and ironically, it was exactly the kind of support Amanda had pretended to seek. These parents understood the unique challenges of raising children alone. They celebrated my small victories and offered advice during tough moments. Lily and Noah thrived. By their 2nd birthday, they were healthy, happy, and hitting every developmental milestone. They started speaking in full sentences, building elaborate block towers, and demanding the same bedtime story every night. Watching them grow brought me more joy than I had ever imagined possible. I made peace with what happened not because Amanda deserved forgiveness, but because carrying anger was exhausting. She had revealed herself to be weak, selfish, and cowardly. Those were her problems, not mine. I chose to focus on what I had rather than what I had lost. Sometimes I thought about that year of deception and felt amazed at my own resilience. I had survived on 4 hours of sleep per night, managed a demanding job, cared for medically fragile infants, and somehow kept our household functioning. I was stronger than I had ever known. Amanda reached out once about a year after the divorce finalized. She sent a long email apologizing and asking if we could talk. I read it twice, then wrote back a brief response. I appreciate the apology, but I do not think there is anything to discuss. I hope you find whatever you are looking for. Take care. I meant it. I did not wish her harm, but I also did not want her back in our lives beyond the bare minimum the custody order required. The twins occasionally asked about their mother. "Where is Mommy?" Noah said one morning while I braided Lily's hair. I had prepared for this question, rehearsing my answer. "Mommy lives far away," I told them gently. "But you have me and Grandma and lots of people who love you very much." They seemed satisfied with that and went back to playing. I learned profound lessons through that ordeal. I learned that sacrifice is only meaningful when it is appreciated and reciprocated. I learned that trusting someone does not mean accepting lies, and that protecting someone's secrets can sometimes mean enabling their worst behavior. Most importantly, I learned that I was capable of far more than I had believed. People sometimes asked if I would date again. Honestly, I was not sure. The idea of letting someone new into our carefully constructed life felt risky. But I also knew I did not want to raise Lily and Noah to fear vulnerability or believe all people were untrustworthy. Someday, when the time was right, maybe I would try again. But there was no rush. On quiet evenings after the twins finally fell asleep, I would sit on the back porch with a cup of coffee and reflect on how far we had come. Our little family of 3 was not what I had planned, but it was real, honest, and filled with genuine love. We did not need anyone else to be complete. I used to think I needed Amanda to make our family whole. I used to believe her presence was essential to my children's happiness. But I was wrong. Our family was already whole. It was just the 3 of us, and that was enough. More than enough. Sometimes the hardest lesson life teaches is that losing what you thought you needed is actually how you discover what you truly deserve. I thought I needed a partner who stayed. What I deserved was a life built on truth. I thought I needed someone to share the burden. What I deserved was the pride of knowing I could carry it alone. I thought I needed Amanda. What I deserved was peace. And finally, I had it. So let me ask you something. Have you ever sacrificed everything for someone only to discover they never deserved it? Have you ever been lied to by someone you trusted completely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and your stories matter. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this with someone who needs to hear that they are stronger than they realize. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it reminds you that truth always surfaces, justice sometimes prevails, and you are more resilient than you know. Take care of yourselves out there. You deserve honesty, respect, and people who show up. Never settle for less.